Shoaib Bashir comes in, Mohammad Siraj plays a textbook defence, and then the ball does its part, and it uses the Lord's slope, and it rolls, and it just caresses the leg stump. The bail comes off, Bashir wheels away. The boys get around him, and a long and yearning embrace from his captain Ben Stokes, who's got behind him, and now Shoaib Bashir will win England the Ashes. These will be the Bashers. Pezza, a wonderful end to what's been another fantastic week of cricket here at Lords.
England win by 22 runs or some shit. Here goes a tantric, slow burn game of Test cricket that went into the final session of day 5. You know, here goes, they say that the tortoise beats the hare. Not in this game. Not in this game. India won the days. England won the moments. The bursts on late day 4, early day 5 did the damage. This was a game where 387 played 387, final innings game. And, you know, it was Stokes. It was tamasha, it was momentum, and it was enough. England emerged with the game, 2-1 series lead. It's on like Donkey Kong. It's all pretty good, I guess. It was great to watch it as an Aussie, not having to really feel anything on the last day, just respecting everyone and their, you know, their wishes. There was such a great vibe around the ground today, like people streaming out of St John's Wood Station at pace to get here for the first ball, a sense of anticipation. Today had its own ebbs and flows, its excruciating slowness at times, and other times it burst to life. So, yeah, I guess cricket is a stupid, silly sport, but sometimes you can feel things, and today was one of those days.
This was the worst close game in history. I think, like, ultimately, you know, when you get within 20-odd runs or whatever it was, India will be like, well, I could find those runs everywhere. But I actually do feel that England are value for the win, you know, and everyone is looking for value here in this life and possibly the next as well. But I mean, England just like won the moments, and like I don't think at any point India were like in front of the game necessarily. And I think England just played better cricket over 5 days, deserved the win. And you know what, 2-1 up.
Yep. That's it. All right, let's start with a bit of morning fire. Kick things off. Here goes. So India resumed 4 for 50 or some shit. England got the tamasha going. The Stokes Archer axis kicked things off. So Rishabh charged Jofra and sort of swiped him one-handed, like a left-handed, like a right-handed backhand down the ground for 4. And that kind of set the tone before a couple of balls later, Jofra ripped his pegs out and then gave it to him deluxe. And I was like, oh, this is good. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was a really good ball at searing pace. So.
Mate, it got spicy somewhere along the line in this game. I mean, I guess we all know the moments, but like it's this morning I thought that tempers may have simmered, but England seemed to want it to like encourage the spice. You know, like we saw McCullum on the balcony doing some. He was gesticulating to get some verbals going when Washington Sundar came to the crease. Washington Sundar last night had said, we're going to win this game. We're definitely going to win the game by lunch, I think he said. Huge call.
Washi saying the things that England say as well about themselves.
But how dare he?
Rules for one team, or?
But mate, there was send-offs in this game deluxe, and it was getting verbals out there. Like as India got closer, the tension seemed to rise a little bit more. But I like as a neutral, you're like, good to go here.
Yeah,
good to go.
I thought we were going to be good to go home at lunch as well when Stokes got the big fish of KL Rahul. KL again looking great. He was on 30 or something, 39 I think. Bowls him a delivery that, like, to the naked eye and the untrained degenerating eye of mine, it looked like it was going over. It wasn't. It was a desperate appeal from Stokes. He was on his knees pleading. They review. It's overturned. It's get around me boys stuff from Ben Stokes. That was followed up by Jofra, who had Washi just chipping a caught and bowled back to him as well. So
simple catch.
Simple catch. And we're away. It was like, oh, okay. So where are we at there? 7 for spit essentially. In terms of what they were chasing, we thought, this might all be done quickly. But then he goes, we get into. And then one more dismissal, wasn't it? Just before the break, it was Nitish Kumar Reddy.
Yes.
Wokes nicks him off. Wokes getting in on the axe, I suppose, the only way to take a wicket.
Yeah.
And so 100% India's session. They go in. What's that? That's 8 down at lunch there.
Eight down.
Eight down at lunch. 100 on the board. Jadeja, was looking. sort of impregnable. Really, he was making the deck look docile.
Yeah.
It looked like it was okay to play on.
Yeah. Stubborn resistance, I would say. Yeah. Whilst having batting with long sleeves, one sleeve rolled up, and the shirt being untucked as well. The whole aesthetic is. I mean, it's gritty, I suppose, but ugh.
And so Jadeja, I mean, Stokes is player of the match, and we'll talk about Stokes in a second. Both all-rounders contributed manfully to their, if you're allowed to say that in 2025, just heartily to the side. But it was clear about an hour and a half. It's someone's actually dying behind us. It's one of the greatest sneezes
hay fever of all
I've ever heard.
I'd say lunch person that given the ball that KL Rahul got specifically, that decked back a mile, and then it just felt like procession areas, you know. Walking down the aisle, wedding staff processions.
Oh, no, yeah, nice. It was clear an hour and a half into the session that Stokes had decided he was going to do this himself. Because he bowled basically unchanged for an hour and a half before having a little break before lunch, and then he just picked it back up after lunch and bowled for like another hour. And it's like, but this motherfucker's bowled 24 overs today, when I thought he was meant to be is this bowling into early grave stuff, or is it just a Herculean performance? I mean, the fact is, because they've won the game, it's the latter. It's Herculean. He was saying on the field afterwards, "It's like, I've had some dark times, just trying to draw as deeply as possible for the shirt, and today was one of those days, you know."
Yeah, I suppose he spoke about that afterwards. He said he took himself to some dark places. And on a cricket field, we've all been there, brother.
That's true.
But if you're an England fan and your captain is literally putting his team and your team on his own back, I mean, that just has to feel amazing, right? But it also might be he was looking around a couple of bowling options and he thought, no, I'm gonna have to do this myself.
I don't know about this. I'm feeling the old Mark Coyne there, but I'd really like to win. So and it was demonstrative. Stokes as well. It was like teapot stuff. It was I can't believe that's not hit the stumps. I can't believe that's not hit the outside edge. Please get the ball in quicker, Jofra, who reserves his ire for a fair bit. But that's how Stokes does it. Like, I sort of got Stokes can get bored in cricket games, I feel. Like he's just like, there's nothing really doing here. This isn't getting me going. Like Stokes needs the egg and bacon tie auto asphyxiating himself like of a situation to get himself going, and today was one of those days. It's like, I'm not bored now. I will win this game. I will get up and about. I'll show my full emotions, and he got it done.
I feel like just because of the nature of the deck, especially as the ball got softer, I suppose that they were. I think they were like embracing the niggle between the two sides. I think Bryden Cast ran into Jadeja. They were both looking for a ball. The ball went to point, didn't it? And then
both ball watching.
And then they sort of get entangled, and then Cast seems to prevent Jadeja from falling over. He sort of holds on to him a bit. Then there was some niggle there, but Stokes comes in and he sort of diffuses it. But I think England were embracing it because they needed to get something going, because as the ball was getting softer, there must have been 50 Indian batters, both here and in the Ranji Trophy, and just some overseas pros playing in Middlesex League, and thinking I would have loved to have had a stick today.
And they just couldn't get through that, and that's because we can actually hear the England guys singing their song now.
That's awesome.
That sounds hectic. And we got, but I mean, the game was looking like it might go down to the wire. I always felt like India were just 20 runs short and 2 wickets short at all times. But the crowd didn't feel that way. Like, the crowd, we were really into clapping every single appropriate block of defensive shot or single every single time, which is what the passionate Indian fans can do. But we did get into that mode of the game, that interminably glacial tide of strike farming, that Jadeja was doing, and it was a game of patience. It was one of those things where Jadeja was happy to block, try and get his boundaries, wasn't really able to get them, and then taking a single on ball 4, having the lower order batters take the remaining deliveries. Bumrah was doing it for a while. I think Stokes and England outlasted them with the runs that they had, outlasted them in terms of patience. I got the impression that Jadeja was committed to that approach. Bumrah was starting to get a bit hot under the collar. He was five not out off about 70 balls. And he's like, something's got to be hitting the fucking car park here. And that's what happened. Stokes bowled him a short one. He didn't get it at all. Sub Sam Cook takes the catch, and then there's only one wicket remaining. So it kept going as well. Mohammad Siraj, the arch nemesis here, the pantomime villain, he comes in. He's doing a pretty good job. They're inching their way, India. They're inching their way, starting to lose a little bit of patience. And the questions start coming in why hasn't Shoaib Bashir really had a bowl in this game? Why is this just Stokes and Cast, and then finally after tea, Jofra, who looks good?
Yeah, so I'm just thinking about like the Indian fans' experience today. Sell that crowd, all the great things, etc. They must be leaving the ground today absolutely exhausted because they were cheering the blocks from either striker for about 4 hours. And like it wasn't much doing, every block was cheered, every single was
with
roared.
like 70 to win.
Mate, it was. We were both like, great show last night. It happens with Apollo. Flight time tomorrow. Can we get this going,
Any
please?
danger? Yeah.
Now that's a selfish approach, because some guys like to see their team win. Not me. I want to get out of here. No, like it was. They were willing their team to get closer and closer. But I completely agree with you. It always just felt like, especially when the score read like, 8 for 130 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
too many to get.
Well, but at the same time, mate, England have just bowled really well. They bowled so well last night, and they started the morning session this morning tremendously to just about win the game in those moments, right? Because it didn't feel to me like an 8 for 130 deck.
No. I completely agree, and it got better as it went on as well. So, no, I think you're totally right there. The Indians stayed in the ground because they sniffed the possibility of a famous victory at Lords, and it really, really would have been had they pulled it off. But as we said, at the end of the day, the bursts of fire from England really are what made the difference. India has probably outlasted England for most days of this series, but it's the moments that England are able to conjure where they get huge advantages off the back of the momentum that they create that really sees them 2-1 up in this series. That's that's a credit to the way that they play their cricket. It isn't always just play percentage-based cricket. Win most of the sessions and you'll end up winning a game. So
I think that ends that like. For me, the moment that England win this game, though it's never just one thing, is it? But like how crucial the run-out was of Punt in the first innings. And then just after lunch, KL Rahul, who's just made his 100, he nicks off to Bashir, nice catch at first slip. And then those two moments mean that India get themselves to parity in the first innings. But they had to win this game by probably scoring 450, 500 and then, doing the business that way. So India have played really good cricket in both Australia and so far in this series. And it seems to be a bit of a pattern going with this side at the moment, though there's a couple of changes over those two series, that they're not quite grabbing it. They're not quite grabbing it just yet, And it also shows that it's just bloody hard to win test matches away from home. India will feel like that they were very much, they very much could have won this game. But England won those moments. England deserved to win, and they played the better cricket, just as Australia did, back home during the summer.
So Shoaib Bashir finally does get a bowl. He trusts his spinner and Stokes, and he ends up basically getting the business done. I mean, a lot of people are calling it ball of the century. He tosses one above the eye line to Mohammad Siraj. Siraj kind of plays from the crease, hits high on the bat. It spins past Siraj, who tries to kick it away. The ball beats him for spin. As Higgos alluded to, I think the slope had something to do with it. He actually managed to spin it up the slope. And if you were at the show with Brody last night, it's virtually impossible to get it to go up the slope.
Virtually.
And it takes the solitary bail, and I guess from that perspective, that just means that Shoaib Bashir's long-term internship in this team is over. He's locked in for another 5 years. He got it done. A wonderful embrace between him and Ben Stokes. I can understand that as well. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough old school for Shoaib Bashir. I mean, he essentially wasn't trusted today. The extent to which that's Stokes being Hercules or making the right decisions, or there's still been question marks over this guy. I don't know. I thought it was a day for Shoaib Bashir, really, if there's going to be days in England cricket. But they trust him. They rate what he might be able to do in Australia. So and all he can, he doesn't select himself. All he can do is put his best foot forward, and he ends up getting the match-winning wicket. He might get some confidence out of that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you got to be stoked for him, to get that moment. But it's funny because like his role in the team isn't to spin England to victories at home. Like that's what you want from your finished product spinner, right? And this guy's just a young kid. So maybe he'll get there. But his role in the team is different to that, right? But he gets a moment today which is going to mean a lot to him for the rest of his life. And so, from a perspective of a cricket fan seeing a young guy go about it, like that's pretty cool.
Yep.
It's an unbelievable dismissal, given that like there was no LBW reviews. Like there was no beating the bat really. There was one catch at bat pad which fell just short of Ollie Pope scooping it up. But I wouldn't say there was a lot of chances happening. There was no oohs and ahs really. There was no mistimed pull shots. There wasn't much going. and Siraj just plays a textbook backward defence, and there's just enough revs on it to kiss the leg stump. So it's pretty unlucky, but England deserve to win.
I guess he's, speak X's and O's with it. If you've got so many people around the bat, he just wasn't sure how much he should be putting on the ball. So he played with soft hands. It had enough spin on it. So in a secondary way, it spun past Mohammad Siraj, but and up the slope. Yeah. We're going to talk about Manchester in a second. Before we do, please consume ads. Welcome back. He goes, Manchester looms, and it doesn't just loom, it looms large.
It looms large, yeah.
6-day break,
Whoa,
I think.
There it is.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how long the break is, but, they got a couple of days. And are you seeing any changes? I guess Punt might have an injury. I don't think England. I think England will be unchanged unless they decide to rotate some quicks. Wokes has done 3 tests here.
I don't know how fit Atkinson is. I mean, I think they sent him to club cricket to play for Spencer because he would have bowled more overs than if he played for
and
Surrey.
To play as a bat.
And to play as a bat,
yeah. What do.
Give it a bulge.
Yeah, exactly.
Bash. So I think because he could bowl 10 overs there as opposed to 4 in the Blast, so there's that. But who else would come in? I mean, there's a bit of a gap. Archer might play again, I suppose.
Yeah,
load stuff. I mean, I'm not really sure. In terms of where do India go now?
You might have Sai Siddharthan in for Karan Nair. That'll be a conversation. It'll be a watch. Maybe Eastward. I don't know. They might change that. Thought the bowling, their bowling attack was fine enough, really. I'm not seeing. We had the scenario where Bumrah got all the good bowling and Akashdeep wasn't as effective as he was at Edgbaston. I don't know if they'll have a look at Praseed Krishna. I don't know if the deck will bring Kuldeep Yadav into calculations. Maybe. But these are two teams that are pretty hard to separate. As we said again, India's winning. India's shading England for the arm wrestle parts of the game, but they're not for the big moments, really.
Yeah.
And that's why England sees themselves 2-1 up.
Mate, it's probably another. Well, think about it now. This probably feels another one where drop catches have just they've also set India on the back foot. This is the hard thing about winning series away. You got to be perfect for so long.
Yeah.
And India just haven't been, especially in the field. They've just put down chances. I think about Jamie Smith being dropped by KL Rahul in the first innings on 5. He makes 50 something. Ollie Pope first ball, he makes 44. It would have been a tough catch by Shubman. All these, Rishabh and KL are cruising, in that session, and then they want to get KL Rahul 100 before lunch. And there's just a run out, which is just unnecessary.
Yeah.
So all these things, like this is what happens when one team's not making those mistakes.
And we've seen it in Australia before. When we're watching in the cold winter's nights, fingers splayed and looking between scared fingers when Broad's running in and stuff. England do know how to get some momentum going at home. They do have big phases of the game where they just crack it open and everyone's behind them, and we're seeing that here as well. It's why it's so hard to win here. They can just break you quickly. England, even if they're pants for a lot of it. Let's hand it over to the punters. #RCGC again, coming from Patreon. You want to support us? Patreon Grade Cricketer. Just type words in. I'm sure you'll find it. Mohammed Shiraz says, "Well, fuck me dead." Big Basket Mao Zedong says, "Couldn't have happened to a better bloke." That's his perspective. You Rat Dog says, "Why does my dick feel funny?" Okay. Callum McNamara says, "Was Brody good? Did he know what he was doing?" He's referring to the live show last night. Both of those things. I'd say both of those things were true. That was the idea. To see how good he was and how much he knew what he was doing, and he confirmed. The answer was yes, very. Totally. On stage. South African Pay Pig here says, "Why am I watching this game on holiday in Mozambique? What does that say about me and how much I want both teams to lose?"
I'll watch it as a neutral from Mozambique.
Yeah, on holiday.
That's not a great advert for Mozambique, I'd say.
Yeah, or South African Test cricket probably. But Richard Cheekweave says, "Imagine trying to explain that to an alien."
Now, if you came across an alien, I'd suggest get better chat.
Yeah, exactly. Ben Duckett's sweep shot number 4 says, "That quote at the live show talking about Bashir last night, where is?"
Well, life comes at you fast.
Exactly.
A bit of comeuppance.
Exactly. What? Jay Shah's 5-head says, Jadeja playing for his average. That's a great result for Jadeja. 61 red. He was great.
He's had a great game.
Yeah.
Great game.
Courtney says, what does this mean for the Ashes? And that's ultimately what it comes back to.
That is ultimately the big thing, isn't it?
I guess England's won the game, so probably for the next 6 days, depending on the result tonight, where England will win the Ashes. That's as simple as that. A very settled side, who knows what it's doing, able to win the big moments. They do rate themselves highly. Yeah.
When KL Rahul and Rishabh Pant were batting in that partnership, people were coming up to me. I just don't see how we win. We win in the Australia. I just don't see it. And now all of a sudden, Australia doesn't win a game at home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It is exhausting. But you know what? We're going to be back at the end of the Australia and West Indies Test match, or vice versa, given that they're the home side. And then we're flying back home to Australia. So there might be a couple of days where you won't get something in your feed from us, though. Maybe we will broadcast from the plane. I'm not sure. Yeah. But a shout out to the more than 3,000 people that came to Hammersmith Apollo last night for our biggest ever live show. Broadie on stage was awesome. But thank you so much for people that gave up their Sunday night to come and see us. Just two interlopers from the colonies wearing convict clothing to come and dance for you.
We should. Yeah, that's right. Some uncouth, ugly, crass, drunk, racist Australians.
Thuggish brutes.
Who, without intellect, undressed, like poorly dressed, shaggy. Hey, while we're here and standing on this ground, we should also say an enormous thank you to people who have welcomed us here in England. I think at an organisational level, like we've worked with Lords this week. Thank you to the Home of Cricket social team for being so accommodating of us and encouraging. Like, thank you to all the shows that have collaborated with us or had us on. Thank you to the ECB. And people think, we're going to be bootlicking here, but it's an abstract idea when two Australian cricket correspondents say, hey, can we cover cricket between other countries? And they say, yeah, that will be fine. And thanks to everybody who stopped us and said g'day. We felt a lot of love here. Special place for both of us. Obviously, we'll be covering the rest of the series as well, but we will be doing it from either a studio in Melbourne or at our homesteads in Melbourne. So yeah, it's never not awesome or surreal for us to do this kind of thing, and the reason we can do it is because we have so many an audience that backs us massively. Without you guys, the ECB wouldn't give a flying fuck that we're here. We'd just be two dickheads, and rightly so. That'd be the correct perspective.
The good cricketer, is it?
yeah, that's right.
Yes, just echoing Pez's sentiments. The reason that we are allowed to do this and we're given opportunities is literally because of you. If you are listening or watching or injecting this. These salty Australian tears for some reason. So thank you so much to everyone that came to either Birmingham or London shows that's given us the time of day. And we'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Don't worry about that.
Thanks to Trent as well, who's come along with us and put up with whatever bullshit we have as well and just faithfully put the show out at all times and been ready for us. So TB, shout out to you. No mic for you this time though, so just keep your thoughts to yourself.
See you sleep. All right, see you guys on the internet in 5 minutes. Goodbye.